Good morning, Roll Gang, and welcome on inside to another episode of the Weekday Wake and Bake. I am your host, Processor Sky, here with a Canna News Tuesday episode of the show, jam-packed with cannabis industry news stories. Super excited to be here live with you for another Weekday Wake and Bake at 8 a.m. Pacific time every weekday morning. And it is coming around 150 episodes, Roll Gang. Super excited to be here with you guys. I love session with you every single morning. If this is your first time tuning in, I like to go live Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch on a little show called The Weekday Wake and Bake. And basically, every weekday morning, we wake up, we have awoke, and then we smoke, as per stoner law. So I just figured I'd come on here and do my wake and bake publicly instead of privately from now on, and talk about some cannabis content with the Roll Gang. So super excited to be here for this Canna News Thursday episode. Got a whole bunch of cannabis news stories as the center of this episode of the Weekday Wake and Bake. But as I roll up, just like I do every weekday morning at 8 a.m. Pacific time, I am just going to give a quick shout out to our sponsors of the show, because they make things happen for the Roll Gang and make shit possible for me and the show. So major shout out, Oaksterdam University, the first ever cannabis college in the United States, ladies and gentlemen. The predominant spot to gain your cannabis industry knowledge. Hit up Oaksterdam University and start taking your courses in horticulture, cannabis business, canna compliance. I mean, shit, they even got former police officers telling you how to stay away from the 12s while you're smoking the herb. But, yeah, just huge shout out to Oaksterdam University, my proud alma mater and first ever cannabis college in the United States. Use promo code ROLLINGSPOON to get 10% off your tuition, no matter how much tuition is. They have a all-in-one course where it's basically like a master's program in cannabis, and 10% off of that one would be like $300, $400. So make sure you utilize promo code ROLLINGSPOON and utilize this opportunity and time to claim your stake in this budding industry. So huge shout out Oaksterdam University and the Rolling Spoon Cannabis Multi-Tool, helping me to roll a dime every single time, every weekday morning. If you guys don't know what the Rolling Spoon is, hit my DMs. I gotta get in touch with you and get you some samples if you guys don't have one. But so much love to the Roll Gang. This episode is brought to you for the Roll Gang, the absolute greatest of cannabis industry fans out there. Shout out all the Roll Gangers tuning in on all the streaming platforms as I lick and stick my dime here for the Wake and Bake. Here's my Tuesday morning smoke, Rolled Gang. Rolled Gang. Yeah, rolled by your favorite cannabis multi-tool and your favorite morning show host. And now we smoke it. Let's pink it down a little bit and light this baby on fire and talk about some cannabis news stories here on the Weekday Wake and Bake. Super hyped to get on into these cannabis news stories. So from all over the country, we have cannabis industry breaking news that I like to come on and share with the Roll Gang every weekday, not every weekday, but once a week at least. I don't think we got a Canna News day last week, so that's why I wanted to come on here today. Have a super, super special guest coming on Thursday, so make sure you tune in Thursday at 8 a.m. Pacific time every weekday morning. I have a very special guest tomorrow, too. I am so excited about, but yeah, let's, without further ado, get into the first cannabis news story. So I did not save the best for last on this one, Roll Gang. I brought the best one first, I think. We have a lot of really interesting cannabis news stories here for this episode, but the most exciting piece of cannabis news, for the first time in United States history, more people consume cannabis than tobacco in the United States. Boom, ladies and gentlemen. We are finally shifting from tobacco and nicotine use to the use of this amazing plant that has no correlation with carcinogens or ailments. I mean, you can see it right here, everybody. I wake and bake very publicly every weekday morning, smoking regularly with proof, and I feel great. About to go to the national championship for tennis, and I just don't know if people, like hardcore cigarette smokers, if it's the same way for them. But hardcore pot smokers, super productive, the flow of humanity, gaining access and understanding to this amazing magical plant, super extraordinarily excited that cannabis has overtaken tobacco with consumers in the United States, according to the National Institute of Health, the NIH. For the first time in U.S. history, more people in the United States consume cannabis than tobacco. Boom. Boom. That's why we love pot. So the next piece of cannabis news coming from the great state of New Jersey over on the East Coast. So New Jersey has had a legal cannabis market recreationally for about 4 months now. Since 4/20, New Jersey been hitting the recreational weed sales. And Roll Gang, they have sold over $80 million of weed. One state, 4 months, one plant, $80 million. Ladies and gentlemen, we have an absolute cash cow. This is a naturally occurring product, completely renewable resource. And New Jersey just raked in $80 million with it. Imagine how much money we're going to make when the whole country goes legal, and how many tax dollars we're going to get to be able to spend on education or fixing the environment. Stop hating on pot, United States government. Let's get this shit going. Clearly, it's helping a lot. I mean, New Jersey, with an $80 million legal market in 1/3 of a year. Huge shout out, New Jersey. The next piece of cannabis news on this Canna News Tuesday episode of the Weekday Wake and Bake comes from Ohio. That's right, Ohio. But before we get on into that story, just another dime I'm smoking this morning, Roll Gang. I mean, gotta roll a dime every time, and I would not be able to do it without my handy dandy rolling spoon cannabis multi-tool. So huge shout out to the rolling spoon. Make sure you get yours today. They're less than $1 in every dispensary, hopefully giveaways. And if you don't have one, hit me up. I'd be glad to send you one and trade for a quick video or a quick photo. Absolutely love the Roll Gangers, and gotta get you a rolling spoon. So the news from Ohio is that the Canna tide continues to turn in Ohio as 7 new Ohioan cities. Ohioan? I don't know. Highin. Definitely getting high. 7 cities in Ohio to vote on decriminalization in November. So there's already some decriminalized states or cities in Ohio. Ohio's all wishy-washy. You can smoke some places, you can't smoke others, but there are 7 more cities jumping on the bandwagon, rolling with the Canna tide, and the times are just so promising in Ohio for stoners. And I think there's going to be a huge cannabis market in Ohio. Cincinnati, Canna Columbus, Akron, all these pretty big cities got a lot of young and promising individuals, citizens that definitely could be utilizing the plant medicine. And shout out Ohio for making it possible in 7 more cities coming in November. Keep tuned on the Weekday Wake and Bake Canna News editions for updates on the legislation as it passes. We'll be back in November with all of the news. So another amazing piece of cannabis news on this Canna News Thursday episode of the Weekday Wake and Bake. Young adults are choosing cannabis more than ever before. According to a study conducted by the NIH, the National Institute of Health, in 2021, 43% of young adults aged 21 through 30 consumed cannabis in the past year, up from 34% in 2016 and 29% in 2011. So, I am pretty sure the next time in 5 more years when we take another number, it's going to be over 50%, the majority. Look at the stats. 2011 at 29%. 2016 at 34%, a 5% kick. And then 2021, 43%, a 9% kick. At this rate, you can expect at least a 12-point click upwards on the young adults choosing cannabis as their medicine, consuming cannabis. And I'd say in the next 5 years, cannabis consumers will go from the minority in the population to the majority. So this 5 years is going to be a crucial shift looking at the statistics for the cannabis industry as we shift into regularity in the market. Huge moves for young adults consuming and choosing cannabis as their medicine. 43% of young adults aged 21 through 30 this past year consumed cannabis. And that is a climbing number. Imagine that. It's a federally illegal, illicit substance, Schedule 1 controlled substance list, and 43% of Americans are consuming. How much bullshit? But whatever. We got one more Canna News Tuesday story for you guys from the Processor Anchorman Sky. Anchorman Processor mode today. But really quick shout out to the school that gave me all of my cannabis knowledge. My alma mater, Oaksterdam University, and proud sponsor of the Weekday Wake and Bake. Get your cannabis thinking cap on, Roll Gang. We have got to learn about this industry. It's clearly growing and adapting, trending upward in an unrivaling fashion. Go to the first ever cannabis college, the proven Oaksterdam University. Gain some cannabis industry knowledge that you didn't previously have, and use promo code Rolling Spoon for a couple $100 off your tuition. So huge shout out Oaksterdam University, title sponsor of the show this morning. So last piece of cannabis news on this Canna News Tuesday. Sorry, it's normally Thursday, but it's Tuesday because we have an awesome guest on Thursday and Wednesday. But Croptober in Canada is basically so Canada is currently in the flowering phase of their cultivation process. Croptober is when they release a whole new inventory. There is a world record estimate coming out for Canada's legal market come Croptober in 2 months. It is estimated that in Croptober, Canada will harvest 1.4 billion grams of cannabis in legal cultivations alone, creating a world record for most cannabis yielded by one country legally recorded in the history of mankind. Yo, Canada absolutely putting the canna in Canada. US, we need to start hopping on the train. We need a copy Canada in this situation. It's a copycat league, and it's absolutely working. 1.4 billion grams of cannabis. Seemingly limitless supply, bumping down the price for consumers, bumping up the quality that we can demand, making more for extracts and edibles. I mean, Canada's cannabis market is about to be through the roof. Croptober, 1.4 billion with a B grams of cannabis. Yo, but the real shout out this Canna News Tuesday episode goes to you, the Roll Ganger, tuning in on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. I just can't even tell you how much I love hopping on and smoking some herb with you guys every weekday morning. You are so loved, and please, let's start some synergy. You know, reach out. Let's collab. Let's have some roll gangers hop on the show because I love you guys so much. Would love to sesh with you in person, but it has been awesome to share some cannabis news with you guys. Love everybody tapping in. Shout out Ford Dandy. What's up, Spoon Guy? Ford Dandy, really appreciate you. Petnato MS, what's up, Matt? Cali 420, love tuning in. Coming to Vegas in 3 weeks. Yo, gonna be session with Cali 420 Love and everybody else that is rolling through with the Roll Gang. It's been an awesome Canna News Tuesday with you guys. I have a fabulous guest scheduled for tomorrow. I don't want to make any promises because it is tough to make it super early, and I'm not 100% sure, but I'm 95% sure that you guys are in for a serious treat tomorrow. So make sure you tune in and check out who it is, because we got a brand new co-host, and if not, then I mean you got the juice too. I'll give you the juice either way. But so much love, Roll Gang. You guys are the shit. Go tackle this Tuesday, and I will be back next week with another Canna News. Me as an Anchorman Processor Sky, but I'm about to take my Anchorman cap off for the week and go smoke up the rest of this joint because I'm talking my ass off and I can't even take a rip. God damn. But love you guys, Roll Gang. I will see you tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Pacific time for another episode of the Weekday Wake and Bake. See ya.